rounds of boxing for the vacant WBO Intercontinental Middleweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with gold, official weight, 158 pounds. His professional record, an excellent one, 20 victories, including 6 wins by knockout, only 2 defeats. From Rochester, New York, USA, Willie El Mongoose Monroe. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing red, white, and blue, and officially weighed in at 159 1/4 pounds. His professional record, 23 victories, including 13 wins by knockout. He has 9 defeats and 1 no contest. From the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA, Gabriel King Rosado.
That fellow on the right, just over the left shoulder of Rosado, Fernando Vargas.
All right, guys, back up. All right, I went over the rules earlier in the dressing room. I want you to obey my commands. Protect yourselves at all times, understood? Touch them up. Best luck to both of you.
Lawrence Cole, the third man in the ring, a veteran Texas referee and a good one, done many world title fights, including the Pacquiao-Margarito fight here in this very stadium. Gabriel Rosado has had problems losing to David Lemieux, Jamel Charlo, Peter Quillen, and Kid Chocolate, but he has wins over CQ Powell, I.A. Bruce, Jesus Soto Caras, and Joshua Clottey. So he's had some big wins.
Well, and said to have been revived by Fernando Vargas. You may remember him as the top crowd-pleasing welterweight who had a famous showdown with Oscar De La Hoya, which De La Hoya won, if my memory is correct, around 11 rounds.
Well, you're absolutely right. This is a very important fight for both guys. The WBO Intercontinental Middleweight Championship doesn't mean a lot to most people, but in this case, the winner of this fight just might get a shot at Canelo Alvarez in December. So very important for both men. It will be a huge career boost money-wise and everything for Willie Monroe. For Gabriel Rosado with Fernando Vargas, he supposedly a new fighter now. He's won his last 2 fights by decision with Fernando. And he fought 1 time last year, and this is his 2nd fight this year. He can't give Monroe distance. He's got to pressure him. He said that himself. And Monroe, who is a guy who likes to go the distance, and his 20 victories, he's only got 6 stoppages. So, you know, he wants to box this guy. So it's Rosado that's got to close the distance. But this is the fight of his life. Larry mentioned they both fought Gennady Golovkin. Both could stop. One in the 6th round and one in the 7th round. So that doesn't tell you too much.
Well, they have 20, 21 others in Golovkin's current knockout streak. It's a kind of exclusive club.
You bet.
That seems to be getting bigger.
And it will continue to grow as his back.
I wonder whether these fighters are of the class that they would be put into the ring with Canelo in his next fight should he win tonight.
Well, the fighter they'd like is David Lemieux, but I think David's fighting
break
soon.
No wrestling. Break.
And maybe next week. I'm not sure, up in Montreal.
In October, and the question is whether he'd be ready for a fight in December.
Well, I think money could dictate that in a hurry. We'll see. This is round 1. It's scheduled for 12. Again, at stake, the WBO Intercontinental title fight. And again, they're throwing around the possibility, depending on how I would say Rosado would do in this fight. Because Monroe is not an exciting fighter to watch. He's a good fighter, but he's not exciting to watch.
Time!
Very emotional fighter. And the fight with De La Hoya was one of the highlights of his time.
Certainly. He's rooming right down the hall from me. When I first showed up here on Thursday, I knew the guy, but he's put on weight since I pictured him as a fighter, and he had on sunglasses. And I walked back and said, "Hey, Colonel." I said, "Wait a minute, who are you?" He said, "Fernando Vargas." I said, "Oh, my God." When you see them at a different place with a little bit of weight on, but it was great to see him.
Called himself the Aztec Warrior.
The Aztec Warrior, Fernando Vargas, the ferocious one. This is round 2 on a scheduled 12-rounder for the vacant WBO Intercontinental Middleweight title. We talked about the possibilities of what may come here, and those what I'll call them fancy trunks with the red, white, and blue, and all the tattoos. That's Gabe Rosado, Willie Monroe. As you mentioned, the nephew of Willie the World Monroe. As Larry told you, beat Marvin Hagler at one time early in Marvin's career. So Monroe does have the pedigree, but he said he's going to pressure this guy, but he's not pressuring him at all, Larry. Counter punching, waiting, and just as I say that, he takes off, but he misses all of his jab attempts. Does the southpaw. Lawrence Cole immediately says, no. Slip down.
He tried to fight Golovkin to his credit, and after him hit him with some nice shots. But basically, this is the kind of fighter he is. He's a pure boxer who will only go after you if he's broken you down. Here he's posing.
Posing, he's got a really quick jab with that right hand as the southpaw. Rosado having trouble getting to him as well.
He doesn't want to lead. Rosado doesn't want to open himself up because he sees that Monroe just wants to counter him.
At some stage, it's going to break into a fight.
Either that or this crowd's going to get really restless.
They're going to get restless because this is 12 rounds, and most likely it's going to go the distance. So they want what's coming up after this. So this is like Pavlov's dog, just whetting the appetite of what they really want to see.
Well, I'm getting restless
Me too.
already. Let's not blame it on the faceless crowd.
I tell you, Larry, it's great working with you again. There's one thing about boxing, you and I both love it.
Heavyweight at 175 pounds.
The guys we're talking to the HBO guys here in the United States, Max Kellerman and Jim Lampley, your old partners, and we were talking about the last fight for Kovalev where he didn't look that great, and I said that isn't the Kovalev you're going to see when he fights this guy, Andre Ward. You're going to see a different Kovalev. So this is round number 3. Now Rosado picks it up a little bit. Gabe with all those tattoos, so he's got to be pretty tough just to put up the pain that all of them are on. He's got to feel himself. 1 minute gone here. Crowd begins to get a little antsy again here in this 3rd round. They want this thing to get over, and I'm afraid they're going to get a 12-round boxing match because both of these guys are boxers. Rosado has 13 knockouts in his 23 victories, and Willie only has 6 in his 20 victories.
I like this fight against Creed, the movie Creed, a lot better than this one.
Well, when it's choreographed, Larry, it can be exciting.
You got it.
This is okay, though. It's the anticipation you'd have to put on. I mean, these guys are working hard. Let's not take it all away from them because they are working very hard. They're prize fighters. They're trying to figure each other out. The southpaw against the right-handed Rosado. Rosado comes inside now a little bit, and he gets counter-punched. Rosado has got a bruise underneath that right eye. this is exactly how Monroe fights. He doesn't fight like the Corey guy, the guy that fought Creed in the movie. He's puffy around his left eye as well, so both guys have landed some leather. The concentration in the eyes of Willie. Willie in the black trunks and the multicolored red, white, blue. Gabe Rosado. Hey, Willie's doing a better job getting off first. Counter punching here.
Break! I'm watching.
Inside of 10 seconds to go now in the third. And I think that Willie has landed more clean punches in this round. I'm going to give him this round. As I say that, a punch is landed, but that ends the third round. And then he had everything off when they held the towel as you saw at the weigh-in. So here we go to round number 4.
Well, sometimes when a fighter spends too much of his time in training fighting the scale instead of getting ready for his opponent, it can have consequences.
But in reality, you wouldn't think losing the 1 or 2 pounds that it took. And maybe this is the way he wanted to be. You know, I mean, cutting a pound isn't a killer. If it was 3 or 4 pounds, that's a different kettle of fish. We don't know that. Anyway, here we are in round number 4 between Gabe Rosado and Willie Monroe Jr. Right-handed fighter is Rosado, the southpaw. There's Willie Monroe with the red hair, black trunks, black and gold shoes. Nobody landing much of anything in that flurry right there with almost a minute gone here in round 4. In the battle of punch shots, Willie seems to be winning them, at least in the last couple of rounds. Rosado unable to pressure this guy like he said he wanted to. Willie's did a nice job countering him as he's coming in. He's missing a lot of punches. Is Rosado. Gabriel went to the wild card gym, got out of Philadelphia, trained in Los Angeles for this fight.
No wrestling, stop!
Hopkins moves, and I'll tell you, that time he reminded me of Bernard Hopkins setting a trap for Rosado coming in. He was posing.
Stop!
Well, this is about as un-Mexican a fight as you can have. And so all the Mexican fans here are just really getting restless. It's going to be a long half hour to the end of this fight if it goes to distance.
As this is Mexican Independence Day weekend, and this stadium is rocking summa cum laude with Mexicano.
Talking summa cum laude, Rosado's mother has a doctorate degree in theology in her own Baptist church.
Yeah, she's a Baptist minister.
Stop! Go,
You think Rosado's got a prayer here?
Well, we know someone who's praying for him.
Just trying to keep Rosado's head into this non-fight.
Well, he's got to get his head into it, because the way he's fighting, he's not going to win this fight unless he really picks up the pace, forces the fight, forces Willie into the corners. Willie is a good counter puncher. He's not the type of guy that you spend a lot of money to go and see. But if you want to see winning fight, I mean, this guy's got 20 victories and only 2 losses in his career with only 6 knockouts. People in boxing want to see knockouts. They want to see Mexican-style fighting. And you already said, Larry, this isn't a Mexican-style fight with a primarily Mexican audience that we have for Canelo Alvarez. With that said, I mean, it's a terrific job of boxing that Willie Monroe is doing. But Rosado is going to force this fight, but Monroe is not going to do it. Here's the crowd trying to get into it. At least trying to juice the fighters to get into it. Rosado has dropped the jab and throws some right hands coming in. Just putting years back and fire. He's not doing that.
No punching, no
He
punching.
comes in
Step back.
slow.
No punching.
And even you
I
heard
said no
Fernando
punching. You gotta
Vargas
listen
say,
to me. Understand? All right. Box.
quite hear what Lawrence Cole was telling him to do. I suspect something to do with low blows, but I haven't seen any low blows.
Maybe he's telling him to start fighting.
That might be a different thing too. Well, he started now. Nobody's been down. Nobody's shaken. Rosado has a puppy big knot underneath his right eye. Waits, and he steps back, circles around to his right, sets up again, waits for Rosado to attack him so he gets down on him. Rosado brings in, he answers. Rosado's got to try to keep this kind of pressure on him. He hasn't been able to do it. It's, in spite of the fact he's counterpunching, he's doing a nice job of counterpunching, and he's setting the pace of the fight as Monroe. With that said, you know, it's nice technical boxing, but in this day and age, this isn't, especially this crowd wants to see.
In any day or age.
You know, it's one of the reasons why the kid from Cuba there, who am I thinking of, that, you know, a terrific fighter that nobody wanted to put on the network. It's a world champ.
Rigondeaux.
Yeah, Rigondeaux. You know, a defensive style fighter, and nobody wanted to watch him. He wasn't making any money, and you know, he's a world champion class fighter. But that isn't what people want to see. That style of fighting. Yet people say, I want to see a good boxing match.
No, he said he would try to smother Monroe, and Monroe just hasn't let him.
Monroe doesn't just pull out. He comes back out and circles to his right when he pulls out, and he makes it very difficult for a fighter to smother him. Carries that left hand below the up. Monroe just the opposite. He carries his right hand low and the left hand up. Up and down. He tries to tap it, but this isn't the way you're going to fight Monroe. You've got to assault. You got to come in with double jabs, triple jabs. You got to grab him. You got to rough him up a little bit. You just stand and fight this guy outside, he's just going to outbox you, because he is a very good counterpuncher. You got to really be an aficionado to appreciate the style of Monroe fights. And like Larry said, and I agree, it's not what primarily the boxing fans want to see, but it is one way of fighting, and it's obviously been successful to him because he's won 20 professional fights. My way of thinking, winning this fight. But to use for England, it ain't pretty. Appreciate that, Larry.
I respect, sometimes
that's the
admire,
word, respect and admire. Okay.
good boxing.
You know, it's funny, Al Bernstein and I were doing a fight that was in the late careers of both Roberto Duran and Hector Camacho, and it was a horrible fight. I mean, really, really bad. They were both way over the hill. And I was getting excited, trying to make it a nice fight, and there's no way you can make it a nice fight. And Al said at one stage, he said, Colonel, how did you drive? This is a horrible fight. All I can say was, you know, you're right, Al, but I guess I'm just a bigger fan.
I can appreciate they're putting themselves in the line of danger. Anybody that gets in the ring, we admire, but at the same time, it's entertainment. It's trying to move people, trying to thrill them.
Well, for anything,
I get a feeling that they play the notes, but not the music.
I discussion. For anything that this is lacking in excitement, I assure you, in about a half hour from right now, we're going to get all the excitement we want, and you folks will too. Jerry Jones, Oscar De La Hoya, good pal Bernard Hopkins. Learn a lot from Bernard over the years.
No, it was I think a brother of.
Okay. Nonetheless, he's pretty much executed the game plan we expected from him. Now, in the last few rounds of this fight, can Rosado pick it up enough? As you see the WBO middleweight championship fight coming up next, Canelo Alvarez and Liam Smith.
Well, maybe whatever else they've done, they've taken themselves off the short list of potential Canelo opponents in December and gone at least to or at best to the long list.
Break!
Waiting. Style of Willie.
Come on, work out.
But Rosado, you said it ad nauseum, I suppose, has said that he would attack, and he's just not attacking enough. I give him Willie the last
Stop! Step back.
5 rounds of the fight. Here Rosado the first round, close to him.
I'm just thankful this is not the main event.
Oh, Larry. Don't run away, folks, because there is plenty of action coming up here on Golden Boy as we go to you around the world. And with all the anticipation that you may have, I assure you, Larry and I have the same anticipation. Rosado trying to pick it up a little bit more, but Willie's still doing the job. Keep up against the ropes. No, he doesn't want to be here on the ropes. It's not where he wants to be. Point of the fight. We're in the 7th round, it's scheduled for 12. So with a minute to go here, Rosado can win this round. Waiting. Rosado's got to attack, fire with the left, cut loose with the right hand, push this guy up against the ropes, blast him when he comes off the ropes. But you're not doing it. That's how he said he was going to fight this guy. Quick hard punches because Rosado only throws 1 punch at a time, all with the left hand. Got to get a piece of him with that left. Instead he gets countered when he comes in by a nice right hand of Willie Monroe. In the closing seconds of the 7th round, I think that Rosado probably did enough to win that round. And that Willie just waited too much. But he's got to pressure this guy the rest of the way.
Let go, Willie. Stop! Let go. Watch a hold, Willie. Watch a hold. Box.
Lawrence Cole says that's a hold, Willie. Like, Willie did what he has to do when you're in the corner like that, is grab you, man. Try to walk him back, release, hold him until the referee separates you.
Don't lean on him.
Much more pressure is Rosado able to get on the body of Willie Monroe Jr. Last round anyway, and in this round so far, the first minute gone. Let's see if Monroe can pick up some points now in the next 2 minutes. Catches him with a nice uppercut.
Don't hold down.
Snap that head back of Willie.
Work.
Willie's beginning to say this is a low blow he got away with that time on the far side of the referee.
Come on.
This is what I expect to see earlier in the fight from Rosado. He's had a nice minute and a half of this round.
He's making a real effort here. His best stuff.
Willie calls him in. This isn't where Willie wants to be given in. This is
back.
Taking
Stop.
a step forward
Step
at
back.
all in this fight?
I think I saw him take a step forward.
Winging shots there, but nothing lands. He didn't seem to be moving sideways laterally when he throws his jab. He stepped up into that one. It was a nice jab. Now the last 40 seconds to go. As Rosado landing some leather, really a little light blow downstairs. Nothing upstairs. Rosado, like Larry said, giving it his best effort, no question about it. But he waits and waits. This is the way he fights. See the puffiness. Neither guy has been down, and nobody's shaken in this fight. Nice feint that back off the first stop. Moves it around against Rosado's back. This is the way Rosado wants to be. Don't let this guy get out. And that's a good round for Rosado. Two fighters now, and it seems like, you know, Monroe had this fight in his back pocket. Let's see if Rosado can keep the pressure on him and pull this thing out with 4 rounds to go.
Let's see if somebody could just end this.
You're a hard case, kid. You're a hard case.
Ninth round action here. The Colonel Bob Sheridan along with Larry Merchant. Our principals, Gabriel Rosado, Willie Monroe Jr. Willie with the red hair, black trunks, all the tattoos in the red midsection and multicolored trunks is Gabriel Rosado. Rosado trying to claw his way back in by giving it the best effort he can. Try and catch up in the scoring with Willie Monroe. Judges, by the way, Javier Alvarez, David Ikabuchi of Ohio, and Steve Weisfeld of New Jersey. Alvarez is from the state of Texas, or Texas, Ohio, and New Jersey judge. Halfway point in this round, and it's anybody's round still. It's most important to Gabriel Rosado to win this round, to be really in the fight.
Stop. Time. Just real quick. Just turn around for me. Let me see. All right.
There's a cut up the back of the head, and Lawrence is just checking it out. When you have a cut any place in the skull, it bleeds very profusely.
How do you
because
get a cut in the back of the head?
I don't know. It must have been maybe when he was down, a chin or something. In the corners. I don't know. I didn't see it, that's for sure. 45 seconds in round 9. See right there where the head's bouncing up against each other there, possibly a chin on the side there.
Stay right there. Right there. Okay? You're good. You're good. You got a little cut on the back of your neck. And I know it's fine. I'm just having them look at it. He's Big Greg. He's got a cut on the back of the head was from an accidental foul. Okay? Cut from on the back of his head, an accidental foul. All right, you're fine. It's nothing. All right? Time in. Box.
Again, as I started to tell you, the blood vessels are very close to the skin and on your scalp because there's very little room between the bone and the outer skin, so it cuts very easily, and it bleeds a lot in that area. So it's nothing serious to be sure. Really trying to counter punch again.
Stop. Step back. Box.
Well, I don't know. That's a tough round to score. Willie had some nice stories.
I think Monroe has won this round.
I want the worst way to even the fight up a bit, but I got to give the round to Willie as well.
We tangle in this fight.
We move to round 10. The Colonel Bob Sheridan with Larry Merchant. I'm fairly honest. Larry is absolutely honest. Again, my job is to keep you entertained with a boxing match that you can clearly see. I'm earning my money tonight, Larry.
What's the old expression? Lipstick on a pig?
Yeah, that's it. It's still a pig, right?
Well, maybe we'll have some unexpected drama in the late rounds.
Well, we're in the late rounds now. It's championship time. 10, 11, and 12. This vacant WBO Intercontinental Middleweight title is at stake, which moves you up in the rankings in the WBO Middleweight division. Is Gabe trying to put some pressure again on Willie? Successful in the first minute of the 10th round. The amazing thing about this fight, had Rosado in fact won the last round, on my score sheet I would have had a dead even. Yet Monroe has been masterful in terms of being able to counterpunch this guy, and in the later rounds, the last 2 or 3 rounds anyway, Rosado has tried to pressure more, but the counterpunching has been terrific. Unclean hits and effective aggressiveness. You got to go with Willie. Defense, Willie. Ring generalship, Willie's dictating that too. So those are the things they're supposed to score rounds on. Very few people give much credit to defense, but this counterpunching has been very good by Willie. Not exciting, but good. Goes to that left-hand lead. The southpaw, that's his power shot. Didn't land it very well. Got to piece him with that on the chin. Rosado is a sense of urgency for him, as you know, you just feel the adrenaline flow coming.
Stop!
For
No
him,
punching!
He's
No
not
punching!
able to
Step back.
execute much.
Good job, guys.
Good counter punching this round by Monroe. I can't give it to Rosado.
Time!
2 rounds and maybe even knock him down on my score sheet to win it, but again, a lot of close rounds in this fight. So here we go to round number 11. The Colonel Bob Sheridan here with Larry Merchant. We're in Arlington, AT&T Stadium here, the colossal house that Jerry Jones built for his Dallas Cowboys, and that's a beautiful venue, and it is filling in. Larry, you've had a chance to look around more than I have. It looks pretty full.
Stop! No punching. Good job.
This may be the biggest outdoor-indoor fight in a very long time in the U.S.
Well, there's no bigger indoor arena than this, so.
As far as indoor, I still think of it as a stadium and not an arena.
Right. It is a stadium. And the same thing with the Alamo Dome, and they've had big crowds in there too. But I don't think this size. And Chavez fought the Sweet Pea Whitaker. They had a big crowd in the Alamo Dome for that. But I don't recall if it was over 50,000. Anyway, in this one, we're in the 11th round. The principals, Willie Monroe with the red hair. Gabriel Rosado with the red gloves. Rosado trying to pressure this guy as best he can. Rosado was coming along in the 7th and 8th rounds, and then all of a sudden in the 9th round, Willie just landed more clean blows, even though Rosado pressured him more than he had
Don't wrestle.
in the rounds 2 through, let's say, 5 and 6. You know, the judges score aggressiveness as opposed to effective aggressiveness. You know, some of them might lean towards Rosado in some of these rounds, Larry, and it might be closer than what I think. Willie Willie doing just enough. And that's the way he fights. He does just enough to win the rounds that he does win.
Well, that's how his manager told him how to fight.
Come here. Let me see. Let me see.
What I have to add to that is he manages
Time!
himself.
Right there, Willie. Look up. Let me see. Okay. Hang on. We're just, I know. And we got butted. Okay?
So you're going to have the doctor
Accidental
look at his eye?
headbutt. Accidental butt. Accidental butt right there.
Oh, a headbutt. Okay.
Time.
So there's 2 accidental butts. Add up to a point taken away or not? Boom.
I mean, how could you take a point away on that one? That was absolutely accidental.
Yep.
I'm worried that
And the other one was
I don't want him to get knocked, have a head trauma twice in one fight. Okay? You tell me. Okay? You good?
Yeah, can I walk it off?
Just a second. Yeah, that's a foul, but you can't have too much. Come on, walk back, stay under here. Okay?
All right, I'm good.
Okay. You good? All right. All right. Time in!
Lawrence Cole says you can't have too much time with an accidental foul. It's funny, if it's a low blow and it's an accidental foul, you can have 5 minutes to recover, but if it's to the head, which has been so much publicity about lately, more in football than in boxing. I mean, our guys go into the sport of boxing knowing that they could be maimed.
Time!
All right.
Time in.
Oh, he doesn't want to sell the fight. Just ask him. The last round, Gab, you need to give everything you got, man. Jab 3-2. He keeps on going to the right. Jab 3-2. Everything we got, Gab. For your babies, Gab. Everything we got.
Doctor got in the corner. Side back.
Don't come in crazy.
Right.
Pump the jab first to come in. When he's boxing, jab 3-2. And he's boxing to the right all day. Keep working that jab 3-2 and work that body. We gotta knock this motherfucker out, or else we lose this fight, God. Everything we got, let's go, God.
Mike Rodriguez working on the cuts. He's a detective from Los Angeles.
Last round, right?
Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, but a great cut man.
Bring it in, guys. Touch him up.
So
Great
here we
job.
go to the 12th and final round. I've got Willie Monroe out in front, but again, it depends on if the judges are going to call for aggressiveness or effective aggressiveness, and if that's the case, I got Monroe in front. Rosado has been aggressive in the latter half of the fight, but not what I would call very effective, except in a couple of rounds. Twice in the fight, once behind the head, or on the back of the head, I should say, and another time in the eye by a headbutt. He was coming forward, and in fact bumped into Willie Monroe. Southpaw right-handed fighter, it happens more often than with two orthodox and two southpaws. Rosado not able to get enough pressure on Willie here in this round with a minute gone. It's anybody's round, but the only significant punch landed was off the hands of Willie Monroe.
My mother told me there would be fights like this.
Watch hold it, Willie.
Just bite down and get through it.
Let go of him, Willie. Let go of him. Break! Break! Step back. Second warning. Holding. Box.
So Lawrence says a second warning for holding to Willie Monroe. Third one, I expect to take some point away. Right now, according to my sheet, it wouldn't affect the outcome of the fight. But again, I'm unofficial. Rosado just hasn't had enough effective punches, in my opinion, to win this fight. Willie has fought like this the entire fight, but has been successful as a counterpuncher, and that's ring generalship. He's dictated how this fight went.
Pull through.
In no time did he really attack. Occasionally he did with jabs. Rosado's been cut twice, as I mentioned. But there's no sense of urgency, Larry, in a close fight for Rosado here. I mean, the only one that's any shown any urgency is Fernando Vargas.
All I can say is that you're right.
You'll be glad when it's over.
Monroe makes Floyd Mayweather Jr. look like Henry Armstrong.
Stop! Box!
A great action fighter of the past.
Oh, Armstrong, tremendous. Probably very few people listening to us have any idea who he was. Yet he was one of the great fighters
Great job,
of all
guys.
time.
All right, that's the end of this one.
After 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBO Intercontinental Middleweight title, we go to the scorecards. Steven Weisfeld scores at 116 to 112. Javier Alvarez scores at 118 to 110. And David Ayacabuchi scores at 117 to 111. All three scores to the winner by unanimous decision. And now the new WBO Intercontinental Middleweight Champion, Willie El Mongoose Monroe.
So in fact, the judges saw it and scored it just about the same as Larry and I. One judge had it 117, 111. We had it 117, 110. So they gave him credit for the defense that we wondered if they would, and they did.